Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, and today we want to talk about the signs or the symptoms of culture shock.
I want to eat baked beans and proper bacon. They don't sell baked beans here. You have to buy them on Amazon for like $20 for 2 tins. And they don't sell proper bacon. This isn't bacon. This is just like some kind of fake imitation ham pretending to be bacon. Bacon isn't supposed to be sweet. It isn't supposed to be like ham. It's supposed to taste like bacon. Why don't you understand what the concept of bacon is, Japan? It's not difficult.
Well, you have gone to a different country, and how do you know you are in culture shock? Or how do you know that a colleague of yours is in culture shock? Let's look at the different signs of culture shock or the symptoms of culture shock today. The first one is being negative about the host culture. So you start criticizing or you start being negative about the host culture. You compare with your own culture and you say, well, in the host culture, everything is like this, that's not right, that's not good. You become very negative about the host culture, about things that are doing, the food, things how the country is run, administrative things.
So that you're not eating, creme brulee or mousse au chocolat, every single day at lunch and dinner and this kind of thing. They often just like to seal off the meal with something sweet, and often that's a yogurt or some fruit. But it's really like tripled my consumption of yogurt because I'd often, used to eat yogurt at breakfast time, but now I eat a yogurt to end lunch and dinner. Like you have a yogurt often after dinner here as well. So you may be eating, I don't know, like let's say an average of 2 yogurts per day, 7 days a week, 14 yogurts per week. And the way they eat the yogurt is pretty strange as well. They take plain yogurt, natural yogurt, and then they manually add like white sugar to it. So they'll pour the sugar into the yogurt and mix it up and then eat it. And I don't really get it because we have sweetened yogurt already pre-sweetened.
So there's an excessive negativeness about the host culture. You start to stereotype. All the people are like this, and this country is like this, and you come up with a lot of stereotypes about the people and the culture and the values of the culture. You find everything is illogical. It's stupid. It's not good. It's different than what we are used to do. It's better where we come from. Oh, this is bad. The food is so bad, and the streets is bad. The school system is bad. Or it's so funny. Everything is funny, and everything is ridiculous. Oh, how can they do this? What kind of political system is this here? And you're very negative about the host culture. In the long run, you develop a hostility, a certain hostility against the people and the culture. And it leads to ethnocentrism, that you think that your own culture is much, much better than your host culture. A second symptom of culture shock is the loss and confusion you feel. You do not understand your role, your social position, and you are kind of in an ambiguity of how do you fit in this culture. There's a feeling of helplessness and dependency. You also feel very inadequate. It's not enough what you're doing. You can't reach there. You do not know what to do, and you feel you don't fit in. You question your decisions at work. Is it right what I am doing? Does it fit in? Do they want this here? Or about your decisions with your friendship circle. Oh, do they understand me well? And I can't do what they are doing, and I can't act like they are acting. And there's a disorientation, and this can lead to an isolation of yourself. The third sign is the inability to deal with the environment. Because everything is so different than you're used to, you are kind of feeling lost. You're feeling out of your place.
Hard. It wasn't what I was expecting. And so I remember every morning. Basically, I would wake up, I'd go down to our bathroom, I would take a shower, with our bucket and the little dipper, and I would just start crying because I missed my shower. I'm like, I'm showering with a bucket. What am I doing? And and then I would just feel super, super homesick. And, all during personal study, I would just be crying. I'd be like turned away from my companion so she wouldn't see me. And it was just super hard. But then when I went out and worked,
You're feeling out of your place. So you start avoiding the local food. Oh, I don't know if I should eat that. Is it safe? And so you draw back to the food you know. You go to the McDonald's restaurants and get hamburgers. You get the fast food that you are used to from your own country. It also leads to preoccupation with your health. Do I get sick here? If I eat this, and if I do this, can I get malaria? Can I get this? And so you are very much concerned about your health. If you're there for a longer time, you also may become discouraged with your language learning. So you have started to learn the language and you have been to language school, but you don't get it. It's so hard, and the words are so different, and the sentence structure, and you get discouraged learning the language, and you give up, and you leave it down and try to live with what you have. You also avoid making phone calls because you don't speak the language that well. You avoid going to the administrative offices because you are scared, you don't know how things function. So you have a difficulty to lead your daily life in this new culture. Number 4, avoiding contact with nationals. Well, because you feel inadequate, you avoid to come together with nationals. You stay at home and you lock yourself into your 4 walls, and you don't have the desire to get out and meet with people. So you withdraw back into your own culture. What you do is you go onto the internet, you make a lot of phone calls back home, you go on Facebook, and WhatsApp is your best friend now, because you can communicate well and write with the people back home, and there's withdrawal into yourself and into your 4 walls. And that means that you don't like to go out and like to meet with the national people. Number 5, cognitive fatigue. Because you have to deal with so many different things, you have to translate everything, you have to interpret things, what did he say right now, and do I understand it right? And so you have to think if you make all the things right, and this becomes very stressful. So your emotional status is sinking down. We call this an information overload. You constantly have to process things, and your brain is constantly working, and you don't cope with all this new information, and you have a hard time to put this into the right box. And this effort is constantly draining you. It's constantly working on you, and it's a lot of effort, and so it takes a lot of energy from your life and from your emotions. This finally can lead into burnout. So you have to be careful about this cognitive fatigue. The last symptom I want to talk about is the physical illness. Yes, culture shock can lead to a physical illness because of all this emotional stress and this burnouts that can be close, and you also can be close to depression. Psychosomatic illness can come from this psychological and emotional stress, and it can lead to physical illness. It starts maybe with sleeping or eating disturbances. Either you eat not enough or you eat too much. You can't sleep at night, and so you are tired in the next day. These symptoms can be compared to an emotional shock. And finally, it can lead to a physical illness. So you can get ulcers, you can get headaches, you can get stomach aches, you can get back aches. So a physical illness could be a symptom of a culture shock. So When we talk about symptoms of culture shock, some people have light symptoms and other people have more heavy symptoms. It can be from just, oh, I don't like that, to, oh man, I'm getting sick because of all this emotional stress. So be aware of the signs and the symptoms of cultural shock. So if you have traveled to a foreign country and lived in a different culture, you may have been in a culture shock and you may have experienced some of these symptoms that we have talked about. So if you have experienced some of these symptoms, please leave a comment down in the commentaries and tell us kind of what kind of symptoms you have experienced. This might be helpful for people who are watching the video. And tell us your most intense sign or symptom of culture shock. So we don't want to stay with the symptoms and signs of culture shock. Stay tuned on the channel. In the next video we will be talking about how to overcome this culture shock period. If you like this video, well, give us a like and subscribe, and I hope we will see you back in the next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.